super secret location deep within the mountains of Colorado, it's time to strap up, strap in, or strap on with your host, Shenanigans in One Shot. It's From the Ashes Radio!
I mean, far be it for me to judge others' sexual proclivities. What's the matter, Joe? Oh, are we getting the static? Is it giving us static? Are we allowed to say it like that? I mean, I'm feeling a little gangster.
Feeling a little gangster?
Static. So I'm sitting.
Not this gangster.
I don't know if I can do this, but I'm sitting gently. Look at you looking, because you already know. It's only a matter of seconds before mid-show I'm plummet to my ass.
Is upright.
Whoa. I guess we're still going, but Joe says we're fucking, yeah.
Dude, he knows it really throws me off if that screen's not there. I think you know more than him. I was like having a conniption last week without you and no fucking Joe turning my screen on.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. Also, I was dying last week. I don't know how that second half of the show, that was not my best performance. I give myself a minus 0.5 or something like that.
When was the last time you took a day off? Exactly.
I haven't yet.
Exactly.
So that was one I should have just taken off. That was a.
Well, I meant just in general. Like, when have you fucking? Oh, like, when was the last time?
Oh, I no.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Either way, it's coming soon.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. As soon as you figure out how to, you got to take care of the ranch for like 2 days,
dude. Easy. I got. Well, I don't want to say easy stuff.
Yeah.
I got this. I got this. Well, you saw. I'm a fucking what? Were you breaking shit?
No, I'm adjusting.
I'm a fucking
dude. It's doing weird stuff, Joe.
Look at it. Yeah. So we come in here, right? We sit down. We're doing the show prep stuff, and he's plugging shit in and he's getting it started, and there's nothing on the screen, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "That's dude." Before you started working here, that was my question. Every week, you'd fire up the system, and it was like a guess as to whether it was going to work or not.
Coin flip.
And
like nothing's changed. Nothing's new. You just hit a power button. Sometimes it'll work.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is this is no joke. All of our regular listeners have heard us say this. Mm-hmm. Thank you, WTF, for helping us out with this new equipment.
Yeah.
Thanks. We've had a rotation of like people come in and be like, oh, that's easy. We'll just do this, this, and this, and it'll fix. And like it'll run. And then sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I generally
have to ask the audience.
Generally blame these, but this has always been a sus hands off.
Oh shit! There it goes.
Hey, look!
What the fuck?
I'm just gonna let you know, you are not allowed to break something in here when you fall. Okay.
What? It should be like handles and shit. Oh
there
god!
Ain't nothing for you to grab.
I'm gonna fucking die tonight in this studio. There it goes.
Dude, John sat down and was like,
yeah.
And I was like, he's like, bro, Rob sits in this, and I was like, yeah, you're fine, bro.
Yeah, you're good, brother.
38 minute 38. Are you sure I'm good? Sure, you're good, bro.
I think I'm going to reach out to the board of directors and ask if I can expense a fucking chair between now and next Monday. What, Joe? Get a new camera too. You think it's the camera? Whatever, man. Whatever. Tomato. I'll get us a new camera. I believe that's the one that Warriors Next Adventure bought us.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's camera 2 or 3, but that's the newer nice. That's a new nice one, I think.
Yeah. So
Joe's like, okay, well,
I think it's warming up and it's getting the mood out of
it. Yeah. See, look, it literally did, like the colors like kind of warmed up. They got a little brighter. It quit glitching. How was your week?
fucking outstanding, man. I was in Ohio the whole week fly fishing. I got no complaints whatsoever. What about yours? It was fucking, I had a great time.
It was good. It was good. Lots of work, lots of
I see.
and in that class. I told you about that. Dude, Joe hasn't heard me go off about it. I'm not going to on here.
Okay.
But I did have to take a class to get this state license that I really want to do good things.
If it keeps glitching, fire the producer.
Yeah.
Hell no.
We don't fire people here.
Yeah.
We rehabilitate.
Exactly.
Punish,
literally.
Reprimand, all sorts of things.
Which brings us to an excellent point, folks.
15 and 15 or 45 and 45. What do you think he gets?
We'll start with 15.
Do you know what
15.
we could accomplish with 15 and 15 of extra duty around here?
Dude, can you fucking imagine? That would be awesome.
Yeah.
15 and 15 around here. Oh, hell no. Your shirt, Seth Rowan.
Who just saw that? Oh, she just saw it. Yeah.
Dude, where do you find? I mean, like,
you know what's fucking hilarious is I found this and I was like, oh, that is the most trolly,
my god,
ridiculous ass shit. And I ordered it, and like, I can't remember if it was an hour later or that day, but the wife goes, "Have you seen this shit with 50?" And I was like, "No, what are you talking about?" And I guess 50's been wearing these trolling Diddy, and it's fucking hilarious. And he like keeps, I don't know, look at his IG. It's fucking.
Oh, I'm going to now.
And I was like, oh, this is funny. And I was like, well, it's going to come. And then I got the Golden Girls one I wanted.
Yeah.
Did you see that one last week?
I love that fucking shirt,
you know,
man.
I love Golden Girls, bro. It's like that Thug Life Golden Girls. I'm like, fuck yeah.
I love when we go off the air afterwards and my phone just fucking blows up with text messages. Yeah. And half of them are your shirts. Other half are like, hey, how do I reach that organization and shit like that? But yeah, I mean, I just
where
love
can we get that shirt? So here's what I think, because I do come up with some shirts sometimes.
Well,
at some point we should just do an About Face Media little thing. I'll do the shirt, and then rather than buying a $35 fucking cheat shirt you're gonna wear a dozen times for fun and some funnies, you can give $35 to the nonprofit.
Yep.
You know, and
get yourself a $4 shirt.
Yeah. No, we'll do a decent fucking shirt. Hey, also, we were gifted something, and I was thinking about it.
Uh-oh.
We really do have, I mean, we have different things. We have like our fan base from when we're on other stations. We have our regular listeners that listen after we're recorded. We have like our regular our small group that's with us. But out of that small group that's with us, we have some veteran, but just a small community, a group of guys that really support us and listen to us. It's just a little Jewish community of people. It is. I don't know how to say it, politely, whatever the fuck you want to say. They're some of my best friends. They're my brothers, whatever. But anyway, we were gifted something from one of them, one of our favorite friends.
I get to keep my foreskin, right?
Bro. Like you fucking have it. This is one of the actual bills. There you go, sir. That's for the studio.
Get the fuck out of here.
Isn't that cool?
We get the coolest stuff, dude.
It is a $2. It's Trump's $2 bill. It's an actual little fucking woo-woo.
That is fucking banging.
Isn't that hilarious?
We got to go to the strip club now and use this.
Oh my God.
Give it what it deserves. We got to go to Fort Benning.
Grab it.
Go to the strip club and use this. It's what it deserves. We got to treat it as that. That's what it needs, man. That is fucking banging. Our listeners rule. We get the best stuff. We get sent seeds.
I thought that was great.
$2 Trump bills. We gotta frame that bitch and hang it up. That is fucking awesome, man.
Anyway,
so dude, did you hear? And Joe, help me out. I don't know if you heard this. I saw an article today, probably on the Twitter machine, that said that the protesters out in LA are making $12K a week to protest.
George Soros.
Fuck yeah. Let's go to light cars on fire and throw rocks at people. Let's do this.
Dude, I lit a car on fire once.
You can get paid $12K to do it. Let's go.
I had to buy the car after. You ever like done?
You've seen the cars in LA
and like funny, and then had to pay for it. I mean, that was your response. That's the version of responsible set. 4th of July, we blew up a car because we thought
we're about to get lit up in the comment section.
No, dude, we bought the motherfucker. So anyway, we blew up an abandoned car. It wasn't abandoned.
Oops.
The fucking neighbor goes, "Hey, by the way, guys, I want you to come see my garage." And he opened up the garage door, and it was like new motor, new suspension. Oh, like he was building.
No.
And we're like, "Fuck, how much?" That was literally the conversation, and we wrote a check right then and there. And we're like, "I'm so sorry." We really didn't know. Like, we really thought we really.
It's been sitting there for
4th
years.
of July, blow up anyway.
Well, don't tell me that, because my fucking FJ's been sitting there unmoving for quite some time.
I would have fucking lit that bitch up.
Holy.
Private Rodenbaugh was terrible.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude, blow shit up and shoot it. Like,
let's go.
They hired me for a reason.
$12K will get us to Cali.
Do they have to choose what we blow up and burn though?
Well, I don't know all that details.
Okay.
I have no idea. Because if it's a federal building, I'm in.
I had one of the most enjoyable conversations today with a liberal.
Nothing that you just said makes any sense. Were you wearing that shirt at the time?
Literally. He was.
I'm so confused.
It was either way, I'm not going to say who it was. It was a great conversation. And it was like, dude, do they not realize that they're both doing it to us? And I was like, yes, for the love of God. And he's like, to be honest, though, in this one particular area, I'm still on my side. But in this one area, my side's doing it worse.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy fuck. I'll raise my hand and say my side does a certain thing or two worse than, you know what I mean? It just is what it is. Like, have some free thinking. I appreciate that. That's why I enjoy it. I appreciate and love free thinking, especially when I don't agree with it. But when people just regurgitate, I'm like, bro, you got to step your game up if you want to have a conversation with me. That's all I'm saying.
That's hanging out with a friend of mine who's
not
liberal. I don't know how to say it.
Different than you.
And I asked him
leans a different way.
Yeah, leans a different way. Thank you for saying that way. Yeah. I asked him the exact same question. I'm like, so is Elon still a Nazi, or where are we with this?
What's going on? Can you let me know what's going on?
Since mom and dad are fighting, who gets who in the divorce? What's this look like exactly?
I mean, there's just such deep swings in like life or death topics that we've never heard of before. You know, like, you know, Elon leading the Nazi party. You know, like, holy shit.
And it's politicians, man, they're all fucking liars.
There are such pieces of shit, man. They're
trash, every single one of them.
Absolutely. I'm just trying to get whoever's going to pick taking less of my money and fucking control me less, and my neighbor, because it's not just for me, it's for you too. So
just the whole reason we fucking do all the things that we do. So, but whatever, man.
Anyway,
Joe, any chance we can bring on our new best friend, Alyssa with 3 E's? There she is. What up, gangster? How you living?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, they are working me into the ground, but you got to get rich somehow. How about you?
Same. It's been a crazy few months.
Yes, it has. Well, you've just recently fired up a whole nother business with your husband, haven't you?
Yes, it's we started a fire mitigation company here in Colorado, and this is kind of our first week that we've had off since February, so.
Well, you got a giant platform right now, so do some plug-in. Plug away. Plug.
It's called Rocky Mountain Land and Fire, and my husband was a corpsman attached to First Marines, and so it's a huge heart place for us to be veteran-owned, and I've been using my marketing skills that I learned through Havok Journal to help promote what we're doing. So it's been fun.
If I needed my fire mitigated, how do I find you guys?
You can look for us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all the places, not TikTok. And it is RockyMountainLandFire.com.
Well, we love any veteran-owned business, so we're going to have you back
awesome.
Pretty soon here and talk about that whole thing. But the whole reason that we brought you here tonight is because we love the Havok Journal. So let's start at the beginning. Tell us about, are you a veteran yourself? How did you get tied in with the Havok Journal? Let's start there. Let's start at the beginning.
Okay, so from the birth, I am not a veteran, and I'll go into that in a little bit. But I started with the Havok Journal back in 2014, and they started pumping out articles in 2012. It was started by some 75th Ranger Regiment guys, Marty Scobland and Leo Jenkins. They were actually Colorado based at the time. And Leo and Marty were actually leaving. And so they had planned this huge event with all of the Ranger Regiment guys here in Colorado. I think that it felt like there were about 200 Rangers there at this, the Highland Tavern, the Highland, it doesn't matter, Highland Tap and Bar, whatever it is. And I showed up with one of my friends who is actually married to a Ranger Regiment guy at the time. And I just had never felt so safe. And I just knew that I wanted to be part of the community in some capacity. And I knew that I wanted to get out of the current job that I was in. And Marty and Leo had this whole entire concept called Black Side Concepts. They had an art company. They had the Havok Journal. They had a satire platform. And so naively, I thought, they have so much money being a small business, and I wanted to come on board. And so I told them what I was good at doing, which was marketing. And the landscape in Facebook and Instagram was way different back in 2014. It was kind of a who's who. You had to know some of the bigger players in the industry. And then there was no algorithm at the time. So it was easy to get followers. It was easy to sell t-shirts and garner a platform, and then just heavy networking, especially on Instagram. And so that was kind of how I started in with the Havok Journal. And I just started creating ads on the website for companies to display their products. And so I basically earned a job by going to a bar and just networking with Marty and Leo. And I know that they were trying to get their the motorcycle gang that was part of motorcycle club that is part of Ranger Regiment into Denver. And so they had a big meeting with the big players in Colorado, and they were not allowing them to come and have a chapter here. So that was 10 or 11 years ago now, and a lot of fun.
So just to clarify, this radio show is now 3 years old, going into its 4th year, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And we have had both of those individuals on this show, but for completely different reasons. So shout out to you. Strong work on getting on here to be the one representing Havok Journal. Well done to you.
Thank you. Yep. And now it's now owned by Lieutenant Colonel Charles Faint. He's retired out of West Point. And then we've got Mike Warnock. He's retired Army, and he's our editor-in-chief. And then we've got the gal who keeps our lights on, and her name's Kathy Faint, and just a wonderful team to work with. So that's my little name drops for my team there.
So Seth and I are extremely familiar with the Havok Journal. We share a lot of the content from the Havok Journal on our pages and whatnot, because the articles are extremely well written. Pardon me. Some of our listeners may not know what the Havok Journal is. Can you tell folks what the Havok Journal is actually?
Of course. So it's a platform written by veterans and law enforcement. We have a huge law enforcement network. Mm-hmm. And it's just sharing, and it's, the veteran community as a whole. So we've got Gold Star mothers, spouses, children who have all written in and just kind of shared their deepest, darkest thoughts, and also current events. So it's a plethora, it's a journal. It's what our audience and our writers make of the posts. We rarely ever do a one-on-one interview process. We want the writers to be able to share their feelings and to have their audience and their family members connect with them on a deeper level of what they might have seen or gone through, or what they're going through currently as they're getting out. And so it's just a very therapeutic resource at the end of the day for veterans to write in and share their thoughts.
It absolutely is. It very, very much is. Some of the stuff that you read on the Havok Journal, you read it and you're like, it is overwhelming to read, to say the least. And others are absolutely fucking hysterical. I love some of the shit you folks put out there. Some of it is really, full disclosure, I have 2 articles that have been published on the Havok Journal, folks. So it's excellent stuff. Some of the stuff is pretty fucking awesome. I love it. Yeah. I didn't realize that Marty and Leo were so tied in so tight. I didn't put that math together. So that's kind of good information to have and kind of cool to know. What do you call it? What does the future for the Havok Journal look like?
So it's conversations that we've been having. We're going to maintain what we're doing right now. I feel like we are definitely targeting and trying to target some of the younger guys who are still in, but we still have a lot of guys who are just getting out that would like to share their thoughts. And I always say, and correct me if I'm wrong, but being around and being part of this community for the past 11 years, I've worked with several nonprofits over the years, and I feel like the transition out of the military takes about 6 years from the time you get your DD 214 and you're transitioning out. And so I feel like we still have a ton of guys who are, and gals who are just getting out, that need a place to share what they experienced in 2020 and even 21 of leaving Afghanistan, or what they're dealing with right now. So would you agree with that 6 year?
Well, how many years out are you?
This is 5. I got out in 2020.
So you're 5 out. I'm
36.
Fuck you. I'm not. I'm barely 36 years old. I'm 17 years out. And are you transitioned well yet?
No,
because I'm not transitioned well yet either. So I'll be honest, in like the nicest way. I don't agree with the 6. It takes forever. And like, I feel like we're always transitioning. It's such a, like, no matter how long your service is. I was thinking about that because I was like, okay, I have been out for over twice as long as I was in. And I still feel like that is more representation of my life and like how I was. It's just the way we're programmed, the way we're wired, it's different. So fuck, I feel like we transition forever. And sometimes like you'll go through periods where like it might not be a struggle for years 6 through 10. And then fucking 10 and 12 are like, I'm transitioning back into being a civilian now, like, learning new things. And then it goes away. And then at year 20, you're like, what the fuck? Well, re-deal with some traumas, re-deal with things. And maybe you remember something that happened 20 years, ago that you forgot about.
Well, she is recently married to a veteran. Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Good job. Thanks for your service.
And exactly. Get it. And you tell me, I just spent a whole week with a bunch of veteran friends and had a great time. But the transition, the marks you see and the things that you see in people are predictable and the timely, and you can see, oh, this dude's been out for about a year. Oh,
because
this dude's been out for a long. Yep.
I'm telling you, like,
what do you think?
It's so crazy.
Alyssa,
so I just think like I think that there's a gap right when you get out that you don't want to have anything to do with the community. You don't want to talk to anybody who's active. You don't want to go back to any of where you were posted at. You don't want to deal with any of it. And so I feel like that's a 2-year time period. And then you start feeling nostalgic and you want to be around all of the veterans within your own local community. And it's all, this is all relative to the individual, and it could be, but I feel like the time it took for a lot of I was attached is the wrong word. I came in at the 2012 era of guys who like Marty and Leo who had gotten out in the 2006-ish, 2008-ish time frame, and it took them 6 years to just kind of finally get back to like wanting to be part of the community in a certain way, and they had already started dealing with some of their things that they wanted to deal with, and going the full circle with the VA and all of that. So 6 years is very relative to the individual, but that I feel like that was the life cycle of getting out, getting all your shit together, getting all of your feelings and animosity towards the actual infrastructure of the military and not wanting to be part of it, and then getting out and kind of full circle wanting to hop back into being part of a different network.
You're giving a lot of hope to a lot of veterans right now. So keep it up. You're doing good things. Yeah. Because now what you just gave them is kind of a candle light off in the distance. You're like, oh, if I can make it that 6-year mark, I'll feel like a normal human being again. It's plus or minus. Don't hang your hat on that candle.
When I said not 6, I said there's tiers to this.
Yes.
There's a lot of overcoming your first year, and there's a lot of breakthroughs. You have it at certain stages, but thinking we're done at a year when you're like, oh man, I kind of got the swing of things where I'm not putting on my uniform every day. No. You don't have shit, bro. And when all of a sudden you're like 15-year mark, and you're like, okay, now I've like realized how like I'm back in society, and I'm still realizing how many things I do so much fucking different than everybody else that I really am not transitioned. I just, you know what I mean? Like I have, but there's tiers to it. And the more you get adjusted, the more you see.
Well, I'm sure you see it in your husband.
Yeah.
Like stupid little things that like check boxes that he has throughout the day. And you're like, what an odd habit.
It's not odd to me.
I mean, help me out. Am I off base here at all?
Yeah.
You're like,
no, I mean, he's very disciplined and, focused on tasks and but it shows up in his work in such a good way, like working with him on the fire mitigation company now, and like seeing how intricate to detail he is on working on these projects. I mean, I'll take that all day, every day.
Yep. Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. We learn these habits, develop these habits, and there's some things that we just, hey, that makes sense. I'm not getting rid of that.
Yeah. I've talked about that a lot, because a lot of people do. I never had the dislike for the institution when I got out at all. I was just like, fuck, I wish I could have gotten more. I wanted to do more. I enjoyed it. So I was frustrated about not being able to continue for not against them. Right. So, oh, what the hell were we just saying?
I never know.
Oh, you never know. Jesus criminy.
I will always beeline straight across grass.
When people are like they're so pumped to get out, like I'm just fucking done with that. They like want to do everything away from it. I'm like, dude, turn away from a lot of bad, because there's so many bad habits there in the military. It just don't make sense. But fuck, that doesn't mean there's not great ones that we thrived on. And so a lot of times veterans will get out and they're like, I'm done with all of it. And I'm like, dude, take the really good ones. And I always try and like remember or try and think about which ones actually are good.
I always beeline straight across grass. Like I don't stick to the sidewalk. I go straight.
Dick.
I do. I absolutely.
You beeline across my fucking grass, I'm gonna shoot your feet. You dance across it.
I do it all the fucking time.
I'm a grouchy old man. Get off my grass.
Everywhere I go, just because now it's a thing. For years we followed the pathway, and you don't touch our major's grass.
Did you used to always know where the little cut-me's are? Yeah, that would happen at night because you could fucking see them, and you're like,
and you knew Sergeant Major wasn't around.
Whenever you would see it, you'd be like, oh, people walk there. I know it.
So, Havok Journal, you guys get involved in some of the coolest shit. Like you and I met your husband for the first time at, what was it? Heavy Metal Yoga at Air Yoga in Denver, which talk about walking in completely unprepared. I've been doing yoga for a while
Me
now.
Too.
And I walked in there and I'm like, oh, it's a yoga class and we're going to do yoga to Slayer. Fuck yeah. Super cool.
Right?
Not at all expecting to be dangling from the ceiling by bed sheets. You gotta see the look on Joe's face right now. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? So I was unprepared.
The suspension fucking, we had one in my old gym, dude. I've seen it.
How big of a sheet? It was awesome.
A big sheet.
Dude, it's pretty fucking dope shit. It's freaky.
No, when hot chicks do it, it's fucking cool as hell. Yeah, when Rob does it,
freaky, scary. It's not just true.
Yeah,
it makes it more comical.
Yeah, exactly. And when I watched your husband walk out for a minute, he only had to do a phone call, and so I followed him out, and I'm like, bro, I'm struggling too. And he's like, no, man, I just had a phone call. I'm good. And I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Because I walked back. I was like, man, I'm getting my fucking ass kicked right now.
Dude, I couldn't imagine. Like, I played around, like, got on it and tried to move and then got off. I can't imagine doing a whole fucking class.
Oh, it was an hour of hell. I loved it. And then fucking Slayer and Godsmack is going on in the background. And you're like, what did I sign up for?
That does sound pretty rad.
It was kind of bad.
But your body felt good after.
Very much so. And it was super cool of Air Yoga Denver to fucking put that on and whatnot. I mean,
yes.
How do you come up with this shit that you guys support? That is awesome. How did you come up with that?
My husband's hamstrings, he can't like bend over easily to pick things up. And so I came up with the idea of like, how am I going to get him into a yoga class?
Shit out.
I know. And how am I going to get him into a yoga class, which would be really good for his body? So
heavy metal yoga.
That's how I came up with heavy metal yoga.
Well, good on you, man. And we need to fucking do that again because that was super cool.
Yes.
Yeah. And the fact that you put it right across from a brewery, I don't drink, but I know a lot of veterans would be like, I could use a beer after that.
Good way to
yeah, well, I brought that kava tea so that we could avoid the drinking.
And it was delicious. Yes, you did. That was a super cool night. That was an very cool night. What is there anything else that Havok Journal has got coming up anytime soon? Like that?
So we every year we go to SHOT Show. So that won't happen for another 7 months, thank God. But that's we don't have any events coming up. So there's nothing. We would love more submissions. I think that's probably the thing that we look forward to most is being able to promote different voices within the community.
Let's talk about that. Folks are interested. Yeah, so folks are interested. So how do they go about doing that?
So Joe can't write, but Seth can people read, want parameters. Yeah, we don't have parameters. So it's really, we recommend at least 800 words to 1200 words to appease the Google machine. But you can go beyond that. We've done poetry. We've done all of those different sorts of creative pieces. And so you just write into our editor, which is Scott Faith at Havok Journal at havokmedia.com. And we will edit. What I always recommend, one of our favorite slogans, I'm even wearing it right now. It says, write drunk, edit sober. So just pour it out on paper, let it all go. And then our editor will work his magic into making it publishable and adaptable to the audience. So that's what
veterans, if you've ever considered putting it down on paper, this is your opportunity to do it at no cost to you whatsoever. Just sit down with a Word document, open it up, spill that shit out. You know, of course, anything that's underlined red, go ahead and fix that shit. And then send it to Alyssa.
Or don't. I'm sure Alyssa will fix it.
She will. Yeah. She is a smart lady. You got a master's degree, don't you? She'll unfuck it for you.
Something like that.
Something like that. And then that shit'll get published online and you'll get fucking awards and accolades and the adoration of your friends. It's going to be fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
Put that shit down. Stop being concerned and worried about it. Just send that shit in.
You know, the other thing is a lot of us worry about it being in like infantryman lingo or
that's who's fucking reading it.
That's who's fucking reading it. You gotta use your lingo. Like we want, like pour that shit out. Have some good conversation. That's why I like things I've read in Havok Journal because it's written in our language.
Yeah, it's our speed. Alyssa, so he and I and Joe are emceeing the psychedelic conference on the 21st of June, Thursday night.
That is so awesome.
It's going to be fucking banging. I can't wait. Hopefully there's samples. That's our big thing. Chicks will dig you. This is why we keep Doug O'Connell around. He's good for our egos. What do you call it? Come check it out. Come party with us like rock stars. It's going to be fucking awesome. You can make fun of us. We will make fun of you. It'll be a really good time. You're going to have a lot of fun. We really would love to have you. I think it's at Wynkoop Brewing or some shit like that. It'll be super fun, but I'll get you all the solids and the details, but you should definitely come. Bring your husband. I love that guy. He's fucking cool like the other side of the pillow. I love him to little pieces. In the meantime, I'd love to talk to you all night. I can't. I got to pass you off to my hetero life mate over here. He's going to give you all the fucking outgoing details.
Yes, let's wrap it up. You got about 2 minutes. We're going to give those 2 minutes to you. Use them however you want within reason. If we forgot to go over anything, that you had like pre-thought about, now's your time. We'll try not to interrupt. Don't forget to remind us about handles, contact information, upcoming events, whatever, whatnot.
Okay,
Go.
great. So just a reminder that a lot of people, I think, feel that their story is not worth telling, that they aren't getting the Navy Cross or Medal of Honor or any of those big stories that do make headlines. We want to share every story. It's what makes our world go around. It's what connects us as human beings. And so it's important to share your story. And I say that I've brought on, in no exaggeration, hundreds of authors from this community over the past 11 years. And there's not a single one that has regretted sharing their information. We can do a pseudonym for you. So if you're not ready, if you want to share your darkest thoughts or feelings, we will share that, and we can create an author name for you to run with so that you feel comfortable in sharing your thoughts. And it's also protective of, if you're trying to find a career and you're wanting to share about your psychedelic experience, or you want to share that you've had suicidal ideation. I can't tell you how many of those stories have come through our inbox, and they have truly saved lives. And I try to share every single accolade that comes through to both the author, but also to our community, to remind people that our words have power and our society needs to hear from your voices. It's the most important world-rounded opinion and perspective. And we share all sides of the political spectrum, where we do our best on sharing both sides, if you want to call it that, or all three sides, whatever. And so you can find us at Havok, Havok Journal, on all of the different social platforms. And we're very accessible. So if you need anything, we are also highly connected to all of the different nonprofits within the space. I've worked with, I've probably worked on the back end of 12 different nonprofits over the past 14 years, and have helped raise the money to make them run. And you might know that I might be a ghostwriter for a lot of the different nonprofits. So I'm heavily connected. I know a lot of different people that can get you the resources that you need for your family, for you, active duty, veteran. It's all encompassing. So please share your story with us. We want to share your words, your thoughts, and get it out to the general public.
Love it.
That was almost exactly 2 minutes. That's extremely impressive. I don't think it's ever happened in the history of this show. So well done to you.
Thank you. My communications major is coming through on that one.
Look at you. I love that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking with Alyssa with the Havok Journal. Alyssa, I can't say enough good things about the Havok Journal. If you haven't already, folks, go check it out. Scroll through there. There's a ton of great things for you to read on there. If you're interested in writing something for them, you absolutely should. Put something down on paper, send it in to them. They'd love to have it. We'd love to read what you have to write. We'd love, just please, by all means, do it. This is an excellent opportunity for you. I can't thank you enough for coming on the show and talking about this. This is extremely important. So I really, really appreciate you taking some time out of your Monday night away from the family. We're going to have you talk back because we want to hear about this veteran-owned business that you and your husband have fired up. So yeah, we will definitely
He's
have
good
you
at these,
talk
so
that one through.
We'll love that.
And in the meantime, I hope to see you on the 21st, okay?
Yes, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Whatever it is, 19th, excuse me. Have a great rest of your evening, ladies and gentlemen.
You too.
And thank you for being a part of From the Ashes on About Face Media. Banging. She's awesome.
You know, you fucked up the schedule tonight, by the way. That was a great guest. I like to have it.
She is.
Where's Carl?
How did I fuck? Oh, we talked. I wanted to talk about, I wanted to talk about the fucking 12K that the protests were making. We did talk about it, but yeah, what was it? That fucking soldier that, or the private that, no, that was last week where we talked about the private with the challenge and password. That was last week. What is this one I'm looking at? Remind me.
The Marine private.
That did what?
That became king.
Oh, that's right. That, yes, he went to the island off the coast of whatever it was during the first war, during the World War I, and they made him a fucking king because he shared the name of their king. I fucking love that. That is also awesome. We can come back to Carl. We got plenty of time for Carling. Carling?
Then we have Allie here.
We do have Allie here, and
So
that doesn't always happen. So let's talk to Allie. Aloysius, how the hell are you? You're muted, by the way.
Hi.
Oh, you're unmuted now. What up, gangsta?
Hey, what's up?
What up, homie?
Nothing I'll admit to. What's up with you? How was your conference last week?
Yeah, it was good. Lots of stuff
That looked
happening.
boring as shit, dude.
That was just like the morning where everybody's like, blah, but it gets going day 2, day 3. Everybody's pumped. We sing karaoke and we dance and we go fishing and golfing and we drink wine and it was a good time.
Yeah, sounds like a tough conference, bro.
That didn't sound like a conference. It sounded like a vacation.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, like so during the day from
like
9 to 5, we are like nose to the grindstone. Like we're taking notes, we're listening to presenters, we're networking, and then at like 5:15, we're off the clock and we're just unwinding.
The socks come off and we party like rock stars.
Yeah. Do you guys know that I'm a published author?
Tell me. No, I did not. Where?
So I've a couple of things. So the first one I ever did was I published
Penthouse Letters.
Did you already know the story? Did someone already tell you?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure I've read it myself, but keep talking.
No, so I was 12 years old. I published a poem called Out My Window, and it was published in like the who's who of like poets or whatever. So that was cool. I have no idea where that poem went. And then I published a short story in a book called Household Baggage Handlers.
Uh-huh.
And it was a compilation of all like service members and spouses and their dealings with household baggage handlers and how shit they are. And so my story was called Dude, Where's My TV? And I talked about how they literally stole my TV, my computer, my very expensive butcher block, my computer desk with all my papers in it. Like, yeah, it was horrible. And I gifted the girl as she was cleaning out like my closet. I had a back in the day when like leather and like suede and fur was cool. It didn't fit me anymore. And I'm like, yeah, you can have it. I gifted it to her. And they still stole my TV, computer, and all that stuff. Yeah.
Where can somebody read this?
So you can literally Google household baggage handlers.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Have you, as a veteran service officer for the state of Massachusetts, have you ever thought about writing something for the Havok Journal?
Yes.
And
So as I was listening to your guest speak, I actually have a manuscript of my story that I started to write when I first moved to Massachusetts. And I just had this urge and I filled up 2 blue colored legal pads and I redid my library. And so as she was talking, I'm like looking for it and I don't know what I did with it because I reorganized and I can't find it. But it's not finished because it brought back all the nightmares and the anxiety and I started drinking again. And I'm like, I'm not ready to finish this. So I put it away, but eventually my story needs to get published. It needs to be told because I'm not the only one. So
yeah,
I'm not, but
yeah. That is an important part. I was just recently talking to somebody about it's very important that we heal as loudly as possible so that others can see it. And so realize they're not alone.
That's important. A really good point. Yeah.
I heard that recently too. Heal loudly so others can hear. I like that a lot.
It means the world to me. I mean, yeah. I mean, especially some of the folks we hang out with, I mean, it's a good thing. It's a very good thing.
Especially in our community.
Yeah, very much so. So what's new in the VSO world?
So let's talk about, and I know we talked about it before, but I don't know why this week, everything comes in waves, guys. So this week has been all about BDD claims, benefits delivered upon discharge. Okay. So BDD, if you are on active duty and you're getting ready to retire or you're getting ready to ETS or EAS and you want to file a VA claim, you do not have to wait until you have your 214 in hand. The VA has a process called BDD, benefits delivered upon discharge. And what that allows you to do is you can file your claim at the 180-day mark before discharge. It won't let you file at 181. You have to file at 180 or less. But you want to file as close to the 180 as possible, because if, let's say, you were the guy or gal who didn't go to sick call, who didn't complain, who just sucked it up, when you file your BDD claim and you get set for compensation and pension exams, if you get the diagnosis from your comp and pen examiner, that is considered an in-service diagnosis, which is what you need, right? Like for it to be service connected. The thing is, though, the VA's duty to assist does not come into play for BDD claims. So duty to assist, if you have your 214 and you file your claim, the VA will gather all your medical records, your service treatment records. You can fill out the 4142 and 4142 alpha, tell them where to pull. That doesn't happen when it comes to BDD claims. You are responsible for turning in your service treatment records and any civilian medical records yourself. And also, in theory, you're supposed to have your benefits delivered upon discharge. In actuality, you're going to wait 2-3 months. So plan, prepare, put some money aside, because if you're counting on that VA money, if you do a BDD claim and you're waiting on that money, go get a part-time job, because you'd be waiting a while.
Folks, never count on VA money.
Never.
Ever, because you'll get a bill for $20.
Yeah.
Do not.
Yeah.
If you're hanging your hat on, can't wait to get that fucking money from the VA, what's going to happen is you're going to get a different letter that's going to say, hey, we found that you did not turn in a rucksack from 1984.
And it was worth $3,600.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh my God.
Exactly.
Fuckers.
Look at her. She's getting all hives and shit on her neck because she knows.
I'm like,
You know what's really funny?
When my ex-husband retired, we didn't get paid. He didn't get his retirement check for like 3 months. And I had just had my son. So I was home being a mother. I just had him like weeks. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, we were broke. Like, I was at 40%, and that was the only money we had. And I had a mortgage, and we had 4 fucking kids. Like, it was horrible. We were eating refried beans and tortillas for like 3 days in a row.
Yep.
Oh my God, it was horrible.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yep. And the kids had no idea we were broke. We'd be like, because so it just worked out because he's Mexican. We're like, yay, ole. And we made it fun, but holy shit. I'm like, I'm so fucking tired of beans and cheese and tortillas. Like, it was so bad. It was so bad.
When we moved from Germany to Colorado, for whatever reason, we fell out of the pay system.
Oh.
Yeah. And my wife was pregnant, and
like, dude,
good times.
Why do they do this to us?
I know, right? And that went on. I moved here. It would have been October, and we didn't get paid till like January. So Christmas that year.
You know what's crazy is it's everybody's like, well, why don't they just write you a check? Like, the problem is like, you're like, oh, well, you fucked up my pay. It's not a big deal. Call payroll. Dump a check real quick to get by the next month, and it's not a big deal, right? But that's not an option.
Yeah.
Here's the option. Put in a form, let them do an audit.
Right. That's not how it works. So the year that we were broke, that's the year I disclosed to my daughter, who was 5.5, 6, that there was no Santa Claus because we couldn't afford Christmas. And I didn't want her to think that Santa forgot about her. So I'm like, there's no Santa Claus. And she's like, is there an Easter bunny? And I'm like, no. And she's like, what about a tooth fairy? And she hadn't lost like her teeth yet, right? And I'm like, yes, there is a tooth fairy. And she's like, okay, cool. And I'm like, fuck. So we moved to Massachusetts, right? And she loses. And so she's starting to lose teeth. And I always put like $1, whatever, 25 cents, whatever. So we moved to Massachusetts, and we're staying at my mother's house, and she loses her tooth. And I was like, fuck, I forgot to put money under her pillow. So my mother's in the hallway. Miranda's room is the last room. And so we're like whispering, arguing in the hallway. She's like, how much money are you putting in? I'm like, $1. She's like, $1? You're so cheap. You got to put 20. I'm like, I'm not putting $20 in. It's a fucking tooth. So we're going back and forth, like loudly whispering. And Miranda comes out, and right, I'll never forget this as long as I live. She comes out in her nightgown right here down. She's like, so there's no tooth fairy? I'm like, no, baby, there's no tooth fairy. And she goes,
but I'll take the $20.
$20.
exactly. She goes, can I still get $20?
I'd be like, make it 40. You just ruined my childhood. I'm gonna have to go to therapy for this. It's 40.
My therapist is gonna want a tip. Let's go.
But, Allie, listen to this one, dude.
Yeah.
Junior knows, but he fucking refuses to let that shit die. He's like, what do you mean, motherfucker? Santa's still real. He look like, I'm dead serious. He will look at you with like the death stare, like, Santa's real. And I'm like, okay, guess he's still real. I don't know.
Like,
maybe at 13 we'll figure it out, but
him.
we're getting close to 13 and we're getting close enough to being a teenager. We should know that there's no Santa, but fuck it.
And when he gives the stink eye, he gives the whole stink.
It's not like he's mad at you. It's like, it looks like he's going to stab you. It's like when Sandy looks at Joe sometimes. I fucking know something's coming, so I just let it go. Fuck it, there's still Santa.
Don't ruin that. Don't, because that was so sad when the kids realized that there is no Santa. Like, we used to, like, my son, who's 14 now, when we moved here, he was still little, and we used to do like reindeer food and glitter, and I used to like mud my boots and put them like in front of the fireplace and all that stuff. And I did it for like 3 years, and he's like, hey Mom, you don't have to do this anymore. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I know there's no Santa. I'm like, of course there's a Santa. And he's like, Mom, I'm fucking 12. Like, there's no Santa.
But it should be a natural progression. It should be the same year that you discover there's no Santa is the same year you discover boobies.
He might have. I don't know. He's my son. La 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 la.
It's just the way the world works.
No. Babies were way before 12. The fuck?
No.
Boobies never.
You don't see the look on Joe's face right now. That doesn't check out at all. Santa brought the boobies. The look on Joe's face made it worth it. All right, Al, what you got for the safety brief this week? Anything good? I mean, you were just at a whole fucking meeting full of VSOs.
Yes. Yeah. So, don't get wasted on a boat if you don't have your sea legs. If you get fucking seasick, don't drink on a boat. That's gonna make it worse.
That sounds like advice that someone earned the hard way.
Yeah, don't do. Not me. I mean, I grew up on the ocean, but yeah, don't. If you get seasick, please don't drink while you're on a boat. It will make it worse. Promise.
Okay, Joe, you got anything? Nothing for the safety brief.
Wasn't thinking about it.
Wow, you got anything, bud?
On Allie's thing, look, alcohol and water motor things commonly don't work out well. I was thinking we had a very severe ATV accident out here, not from our household, but from the road. Just yesterday. Motherfuckers, be careful a little bit. Like, bitches roll, fucking people drown, fucking propellers cut heads. Like, just shit happens, and shit happens a lot more often and a lot more intense when there's booze. The shit's fuel. So just keep it in mind. That's it.
It's a very, very good call. Very good call.
Your turn, medic.
Yeah. Don't speed in Kansas. Kansas State Patrol. Nice people.
No, they're not.
Very nice people.
There's no such thing as nice state patrol, much less.
No,
Kansas
they
State
are.
Patrol.
No, they're very friendly.
Ears. They really are.
Sir, did you have any questions? No, I don't have any questions. I earned this one. Appreciate the time.
How fast?
Have a great rest of your day.
Autograph.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
It does.
Numbers,
don't be a bitch. How fast?
Numbers are just binary.
Where
Allie.
in Kansas? Where in Kansas?
We will definitely text after we go off the air.
All right.
I'll talk to you in about 4 minutes. So yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go take a bath.
Even better. I get to text her while she's in the bathtub. All right. Have a great night, Al. See you later. Bye.
Peace out, homie.
All right, folks.
Homie from my homie. Peace out.
She's awesome, man.
Free
Free
Diddy
Diddy
bitch,
bitches.
Fuck yeah.
It's just baby oil. If you're buying it by the industrial grade strength bucket, you know you're doing it right.
Oh man,
Dude, I can't
Mike,
wait.
just because you wanted to fuck some rappers in the ass, like, I mean, who's to
And
judge?
Justin Bieber. Who among us hasn't thought of it?
You know what I was thinking about? Bro,
No.
he sent Mason so much trauma, he became a pastor.
Fucking Joe's face right now. I gotta get a better job. What were you saying? I'm sorry. I looked up and made eye contact. My fault. What?
I said he traumatized Mace so bad. Mace left rap and became a pastor.
I gotta go find Jesus. This is
I gotta
horrible.
go find Jesus.
We're laughing at other people's pain. I like it.
I gotta find a different way to get on my knees.
Yeah.
This shit sucks.
We're going to hell. Save me a spot at the air conditioner when you get there. Because Lord knows you're getting there first. Just because of your t-shirt collection.
Wearing this.
I love that you refuse to give up where you get them. That is my all-time favorite part. All right. I gotta reach this without destroying this chair and potentially killing or injuring myself.
It's time for me to stretchy.
All right, man. Go do your thing.
See you guys next week.
You will.
Have a good one.
Already
I'll be
am.
standing right here listening.
All right. Folks, this is the part of the show that, I mean, it just sucks. I mean, I hate that we have to do this part, but it is important. It's imperative. We have to get this part done. This is the never forgotten. And while the two wars were raging, there were so many names to pick from, and it was just awful. And now, as we're a nation that is a garrison military, there's still just too many soldiers, servicemen that are losing their lives. This comes from Fox 9. I'm not sure what state that's from. It was published today. A U.S. soldier died during a training accident in Hungary this week. The Army's 101st Airborne Division confirmed to Fox News on Saturday. Sergeant Aaron Cox, age 24, of Maybank, Texas, died Thursday near Camp Croft from injuries sustained in a vehicle crash while preparing for Sabre Guardian 25 exercise. Cox was an infantryman assigned to the Strike 2nd Mobile Brigade combat team of the 101st Airborne Division. The loss of Sergeant Cox was a tragedy for all of us on the strike team, said Colonel Duke Rhyme, commander of 2nd MBCT, 101st Airborne Division. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to remember that every time those soldiers lace up those boots, every time the police officer straps on the armor and heads out, every time that firefighter puts the gear on, that paramedic steps into the ambulance, everything they do is dangerous. Pray for them. Pray for their families. Keep them in your thoughts. Keep them in mind. Every single thing that they do is dangerous. Keep them in mind. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to From the Ashes on About Face Media. I cannot thank you enough for being a part of the show this evening. Really appreciate you listening in. Have a great rest of your evening. We will see you next week where we'll have another great guest. Have a great rest of your evening, and thanks for being a part of the show.